The first week of January went pretty well. The weather was fairly mild, although our chickens still aren't laying any eggs. We're going to have to refresh the flock here pretty soon. I wanted to tell you guys how the first official week of the Pantry Challenge is going. We started a little bit before January. We just kind of, right after Christmas, we went on a shopping trip and kind of loaded up and then just started from there. So it's a little bit more like week 2, and you can tell because we're already out of things like oranges and lettuce. My family is very used to eating like raw and fresh stuff as often as possible. That's just what my kids enjoy best. And so I'm fine, but my kids are feeling it a little bit. I asked them what their favorite and least favorite part of the Pantry Challenge is, and they said that they liked all the food that we were having, but they really did miss things like oranges or being able to go to the store and get hot dogs or something like that. So I went ahead and organized by breakfast will happen first in the video, and then lunches, and then dinners, instead of like this is Sunday, this was Monday, this is Tuesday. That way, if you are looking for more breakfast ideas, you can just go, beginning of the clip is breakfast. Or if you need more lunch ideas, go to the middle. And if you need more dinner ideas, you can go to the end. For snacks that we don't have listed, yeah, we have some prepackaged things. A few sleeves of Oreos, some chips and things like that, but they're dwindling. One of my best suggestions for snacks during a Pantry Challenge is popcorn, because it stores fairly compact, and when you pop it, then you feed a huge crowd with only a quarter cup of popcorn. Doesn't take up too much room in the pantry. It'll stay good for a long time, and everybody likes it. All right, let's get into our breakfasts. I made a double batch of applesauce and oatmeal muffins, and we had that for 2 of our breakfasts. My husband took some leftover rice and apple oatmeal and made this wonderful breakfast bread one morning. We frequently have just bread and peanut butter for breakfast, but here you can see I made some homemade yogurt and put some blueberry topping at the bottom to stir in. Now let's take a look at some lunches. My husband found some phyllo dough in the freezer and mixed up some ground beef and some potatoes and filled it in and made a little savory pastry for lunch one day. Most frequently for lunch, we have a thing called Lunch of Little Things. It just takes whatever needs to be eaten and puts it all together. It's kind of like Lunchables or charcuterie board or whatever. So I frequently have that, and so I decided not to take 1,000 pictures of the different Lunch of Little Things, but to show you that pretty much anything fits into Lunch of Little Things. You don't need to have a full plate of different items in order to have a full lunch. My kids had cheese sandwiches and pears for lunch, and they emptied out a couple quarts of pears alone. We're getting into the dinners. So for this dinner, I made a chili. I used some salsa and some home canned beans, pork sausage, and corn. I decided to serve it over brown rice to stretch it even further. So tell us what this is.
This is a rustic variation on coq au vin.
Yay. On Tuesdays, we serve Mexican food, Taco Tuesdays. So here we have some homemade tortillas. I really need to do a video on that. And all the fixings to make some delicious tacos. On Wednesdays, we have Italian food, and usually we have pasta, but this week we decided to have pizza because I had some extra dough from when I was making bread earlier. Is that good pizza, Dom? Mm-hmm. Patrick, you like your pizza? How about you, Nifty?
Haven't quite tried it yet.
Oh, okay.
Busy getting I haven't really tried it yet either.
You're so silly. So under here I've got a bunch of rice, and then this is sweet potato, and some chicken that we raised, and then it's got curry spices, a little bit of the coconut milk and water and chicken broth mixed in, and I'll either bake it or do it on the stovetop. Thursdays we do Asian food. Sometimes it's Indian, sometimes it's Japanese or Chinese, etc. This time it's a curry style.
Is in the caring hands of one man.
One spoonful.
I have a bread recipe that makes 6 loaves of bread at a time. Ideally, that would last us a week, but in practice, it lasts us a few days. The same dough recipe can be used for bagels or pizza or any other yeast type of a bread product. We had the bagels with cream cheese for one of our breakfasts. On Friday, we had a fish fry, and that included some little onion rings and fried zucchini. Now, this zucchini is 4 months old. I canned it up, and I have a video that describes that canning process. And I also have a video about my bread recipe, and I'll link those in the description. So I'm here about to dish up our last meal of the week. We're going to be having some sloppy joes. We're going to do an open face. I've got some of my homemade bread, and I'm going to scoop up some of the meat. I used some homemade barbecue sauce on it to kind of do the filling, and I've got some coleslaw. Cabbage keeps a lot longer than lettuce, so coleslaw is a nice salad that you can use for longer during pantry challenges. Simple dressing, and then we actually ran out of raisins, which we usually do put in a coleslaw. So instead I cut up a few prunes into raisin size, and they taste about the same. So here is I'll go ahead and tip it. Here is our last dinner of the week. See if I can get a good visual there. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing all of our meals. Next week is going to be a little bit more challenging as we have less and less fresh stuff that we can add into our meals. And one of the things that I really like about Pantry Challenge is that it kind of hits the reset button on how we feed our families, with an emphasis on the kids. Kids during normal times, they get so used to being able to be picky eaters that they really take it and run with it. And like my kids, they don't like soup. Soup is not a thing that they enjoy, but we have it frequently during a pantry challenge, and it kind of hits that reset button in that they're more willing to eat stuff that's not a preferred food. And then later, when they do get the preferred food, they appreciate it so much more. So I really enjoy doing the Pantry Challenge in January. Even though my birthday falls within January, I'm totally for that. And I don't want anything special. I've already got a box cake mix for us, and I'll just eat whatever we're going to have then. And that is plenty of extravagance for me. I do hope that our chickens start laying eggs soon, because that is a protein that's great to have around. But other than that, we're quite happy. We'll see how long that we can make it without having to buy dairy products, because I will admit, with so many little ones, we're going through more dairy than I anticipated. All right. God bless y'all. If you want daily updates, come find me on Instagram. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. I'm real close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'd really love to hit that goal by the end of the month. God bless y'all. Have a peaceful weekend. Or week. Yeah. Okay. Bye.